In this video, I'm going to give you a brief overview of the layout of ProPresenter 7. And so here is your desktop. You open up ProPresenter with this icon here. And when it opens, it's going to look something like this. All right, so up at the top of the screen, you have lots of different menu options. So on the top left, there is a search bar. So if there's ever a particular presentation or playlist or something that you're looking for, you can click on that. That will pull up this window here. And you can just type in the name of the file you're looking for. If it's a song and you can't find it there, you can go over to Song Select and perhaps import it there. But I will cover that in more detail in another video. Right next to the search, there's two options here, one that says text, one that says theme. Both of these we never really use, so you can just disregard those. The next over is this bar here that has lots of different options. The first one is show. That is the default view, and so if you ever want it to look like this and it does not, click on show and it will bring you here. The next one is edit, which brings you to the editor where you can edit your slides. And so in here you can change the text or what have you. And then if you're in this screen and you need to go back, you just click on show and it will go back to this default view here. The next one over is reflow. This is something I've never used, but what it is you can click on it and it's going to give you on the left-hand side here all of the different text that is on the slide. And so you can quickly edit it in here. And then on this side, it will give you what the slides are for that. And so if you want to be able to go through this, each slide quickly and make edits, you can do that. And then, of course, to get back to the main screen, you just click show again. The next one is Bible. This one, again, is something that we don't typically use on Sundays because Pastor AJ will already have his Bible text slides created for you, and so you don't need to worry about that. But let's say if there's a guest speaker or something and they don't have slides and they want you to pull up a reference on the screen, you can just go into here, type it in, and it's going to give you the slide. So if you click here, you notice it put it on the screen with whatever the last background was. And so, again, this is not something we use often on Sundays, but if you're ever in a pinch and you need to get a Bible verse on the screen fast that is not pre-prepared, you just click on Bible, type in the reference, and you can click through the slides. If it's more than one verse, it's going to give you multiple slides to fill it out. There are right here options on how it breaks apart those slides, and you can kind of click around and play in on those if you want. If it's not a Sunday morning and you're creating slides, you can also use this tool here to create the text rather than copying and paste it from somewhere else. You can save it to your selected presentation or playlist, whichever you need. But again, this is probably something you won't use very often, but it's just a good tool to know that is available. And then to get back to the main view, click on show. And then here is more. We don't use any of these on a regular basis, so we can disregard that. And then keep going over. And this is Pro Content. This is a button I've never clicked. It's a new button with whatever recent update, but Pro Content is a service that ProPresenter now offers that where you can download various media. And so you click on that and it's going to show it down here on the bottom. This is a paid feature. It's something we don't currently have, but they do offer free content that we don't have downloaded currently, I don't believe. And so if you ever want to take a look in there and see what is available and download it and then place it in the appropriate file or folder in our media organization setup, you can do that. And I'll show you how to do that in more detail in probably another video. All right, so keep going over on the top. The next one is media, and that just makes the media bin, which is this whole area down here, visible or invisible. Okay, and so when you're operating on Sunday, if you want to see more slides and you want to hide that media bin, you can. My standard operating procedure is to have it open specifically to the particular series that we're on. That's where I like to kind of let it hang out in case we need to go to these in an emergency sort of situation or something. But I will explain the media bin in some more detail in another video. All right, and then the next one over is the audience and stage buttons. These buttons here on our setup do not do anything. So you can click them, you can do whatever. It's not going to have any effect. A rule of thumb, green is good, so just make sure they're green and you're all set. The next button over here is the current look of this slide. And we'll go into what the looks and things are again in another video. But what the look does in our setup specifically is it controls what the people at home see on the live stream. Okay, and so this is a button I've never used because typically speaking, things are all already set up correctly. But if let's say you're on a song and this is what people see at home, and for some reason it's not correct, if you go in here, you can change that on the fly. Okay, and so if it was set to the sermon look rather than the song look, and you needed to be on the song, you can just do that, and it's going to correct it. That's never been an issue with us, but that option is there if you need it. The next one over is the live button. We don't use that at all because we do not do our streaming through ProPresenter, so you can disregard that. All right, and then back over on the left, down to this. This is the library, or this is library. These are the various playlists. So we have created 6 libraries. Each library houses various presentations. Okay, and so this is the Lighthouse Library, and then this has all of the presentations for Lighthouse School that we have saved for them. Right now, it is a lot of their weekly chapel presentations. You can see down here. We have a district assembly one because we tend to host district assembly each year, and so we have lots of things saved for that for each year. CLC is Christ-Light Church that also meets in our building, and this is where they keep their stuff. Songs, of course, is songs. Sermon is sermons, and other is everything else that doesn't fit in one of those categories. All right, so those are the 6 libraries we have, and then below it are the playlists. Playlist is a collection of the presentations. Okay, and so you have each individual presentation, you add several of them together, and it creates a playlist. And so, for example, for the Power of Prayer series Part 1, that playlist has these various presentations in it. And so you have the announcement slides, you have the countdown video. Each of these is a presentation. And then within the presentation, you have multiple slides. Okay, and so the slide is the single, the presentation is multiple slides, the playlist is multiple presentations. So if you select your playlist, down here below is going to show each presentation in that playlist, and you can click through them to easily switch between the different parts of the service if you need to, or you can scroll through them on this end, and you'll see each presentation and the slides therein. And down below that, as I discussed before, is the media bucket. I will make a quick video explaining the organization of this section here. But these are the different categories, and these are the various slides and images and whatnot in those categories. And then coming over here to the right on the bottom, you have various various tools that you can use. We, on a regular basis, use this one here with the M, which stands for macro, and we use the little clock icon, which is our timers. All right, so the macros we'll discuss in more detail in another video, but those tell each presentation specific things to do. And so when we have this open up, we kind of just click and drag the one we need to the slide we need. The audio or the music one is just some music files that we have saved within ProPresenter. Don't use those very often. Never use this button. This is our timers. The timer that we do use is the one that says count to time. And then each Sunday morning when you begin, you just click this to begin that particular timer. And what that timer does is it counts down to 10 a.m. And it will automatically put that timer on the screen on the slides that we tell it to. This is a messaging feature. We do not use that. This is a prop feature. We use this prop here, the small countdown timer, but we don't really use this button over here for anything. So the only things you'll be clicking over here on a regular occasion would be the macro and then the timer. And then moving on up from that, you have this kind of preview display screen. Below it are the different ways to get to various controls. So if you're playing, let's say, a video or a slide that has like a motion loop for a background, you can go to the presentation and you can play and pause the video with that. If you need to, scrub it, go from one end to the other, quickly, you can do that with this control. This one here is for the announcement. Next one over is music. So if you are playing one of the music playlists from in here and you need to stop it, you can do that and control it with these here. All right. And then moving on up, this is your preview screen. And what this does is it shows you what is going out or what should be going out. So this top one here is what should be displayed on the projectors. It doesn't mean that's necessarily what's on the projectors. It just means that's what should be. So if there's if projectors turned off, obviously you're not going to see it there. If there's some sort of signal disruption, that's making it where the signal's not getting to the projector, you won't see it there, but this is what should be seen on the projector. The next one down is what should be seen for the lower thirds. And so during the announcements, that's nothing. The lower thirds is what people at home see on the webcast on the bottom. So like when it's a song, it looks like that. And then this one here that says courtesy, that's what the people on the stage see on the screens that they're looking at, or at least what they should see. Again, if those screens are not turned on or if there's some other technical issue outside of ProPresenter, they may not see that. So it's always good to verify that the screens are displaying what should be seen here. Okay, and then over here to the right is the various layers. So ProPresenter works with layers. The very top layer is the music. Next one is the messages. We don't use messages. Sometimes we use music. This is the prop layer. The only prop we use on a regular basis is our timer. If for some reason the timer's there and you don't want it to be there, you click on that and it gets rid of it. This is the announcement layer. It stays on unless you tell it to turn off, which we'll talk about in more detail in another video. This is the slide layer. This is the media layer. This is the video input layer. That's one we don't ever use either. The ones we primarily use will be props, announcements, slide, media. If they're red, lit up like this, that means there's currently something on that. So the announcement layer is currently going. If you click on it, it takes it off, and now you see the slide, but beneath it is going, which is the words. And if we don't want those words there, we click it, it takes it off. And now all that is left is the media. And if you don't want to see that media there, you click it off. It doesn't work the opposite way. If you click it again, it doesn't come back on So you have to click onto the slide that you want. All right, so that is a quick overview of ProPresenter 7 and where things are located. I will make another video on going into more detail on the things that that are important. Thanks.